Every neighborhood has that one house, yard where baseballs, frisbees, and dog toys go to die. The guy who lived there is creepy, angry, staring through the windows. Hey, go get the ball.
Let's just go inside.
Just like that, most kids accept the loss and they go buy a new one. But this one kid, he saw a gap in the market. What's up? He memorized the perimeter of this fenced yard. He knew the holes, the gaps, and he bought a very long pole. He has a 10-foot pole with a high grip claw at the end of it, and he started an extraction service. He pulls up with his bike and the pole like it's a jousting stick. All right, what is it? Baseball? Frisbee?
It's my dog's favorite beaver toy.
Okay. Do you know where it is?
No.
That's fine. I'll use my drone. He had a drone with a camera so he could see above the yard to where the thing that needs to be extracted is, and then he would get to work. Okay, it's at this corner right here. I have the pole. Go through the gap. Is he watching?
No.
Got it. But he didn't do it for free. Depending on where in the yard it was, it could be $5, $10, or if the old man was right there watching, $20 because of the risk. But people usually paid. He didn't make bank per se, but he made some good money, and he was a hero to a lot of neighborhood kids. One month he made $100 just by getting things that people were too scared to get themselves. I'd say it's a fair business because there's no way the old man would ever give those things back because he's just crazy like that. And so I say, gotta respect the hustle. Everybody called this one kid weird. Pablo Scabolinda. He didn't talk much, he ate lunch by himself, always wore the same hoodie. Then there was this other kid named Mason. And Mason wasn't just a bully, he was the biggest bully in school. I'm kind of the frickin' man. He would flick people's ears in the hallway, kick people's shins for no reason. He would sometimes give kids actual swirlies in the toilet. Well, one morning, Mason's at his locker before first period, and he grabs the combination lock. He feels something. He looks at his fingers. It's brown, thick. He sniffs it. What is this? Someone yells, "Bro, why are your hands brown? What is that smell? Bro's got poop on his hands." Mason starts wiping it on his jeans, but it just makes it worse. Now his jeans are brown. Dude, you're gross. Turns out somebody covered the combination lock to his locker with dog poop that morning. By third period, everyone's calling Mason Poop Hands. Yo, you see that guy? That's Poop Hands. And that nickname sticks. For 2.5 years, guess who was the person that put the poop on that locker? The weird kid. I know I'm weird, but sometimes people need to be humbled. He didn't tell people about that for years, but when they heard, they all thought he was a legend. And people still call the bully Poop Hands every now and then. When this kid was 5, his parents convinced him that if he didn't do chores or he didn't help them around the house, the lazy monster would get him and he would die. It's true. Just straight up death. So he goes into survival mode. Every day, whenever he has free time, he's sweeping, dusting, reorganizing, folding laundry, and his parents loved it. They're sitting there chilling and their 6-year-old kid is doing the house chores. And this happens for years. Years later, he's 11 now, tells his friends about the lazy monster. Yeah, I can't hang out because I gotta go wash the bathroom, otherwise the lazy monster is gonna get me. His friends are like, what? He explains more. Then his friends say, dude, that's actually crazy that you believe that. Your parents are tricking you, dude. And it clicked. His entire worldview collapses, and he immediately feels like he wasted years of his life. He storms home and he demands his parents tell him why they did this. And all they could say was, you'll get over it. That's definitely not okay. This teacher's bogus for this. One morning in this class, everyone was supposed to present these dioramas, and these kids had spent a lot of time on these. They're all lined up on tables. Castles, volcanoes, rainforests. The entire room looks like an art fair. Well, then one kid starts messing around, weaving between tables, being kind of reckless, and then, bam, he stumbles onto someone's project. Oh, crunch. The trees snap in half, clay figures all across the floor. This kid's diorama was completely ruined. Dude, what are you doing? Wasn't my fault. The teacher walks over, takes one look and says, maybe you should have put it somewhere secure. Now you're not ready for your presentation. What? Let this be a lesson to you. In life, you must always have a backup plan. And that kid failed the assignment, all because some nutcase slammed into it and broke his project. That is not fair, and that teacher is so messed up for this. This is getting out of hand. Before first period, everything was fine, but the second first period was over, it happened. Bro, no way. Every school water fountain was filled with salsa. Not one, not two, every single water fountain in the building. And here's the frickin' thing. Written on the wall above the water fountain in very thick Sharpie was, 6, 7. And obviously, as you can imagine, everybody went crazy. Yo, whoever did this was insane! Yo, but what does it mean? Teachers are scrambling, the students are losing, and the custodians are working extra hard to clean this up. And by the end of second period, everything is clean. Well, the school's like, we need to figure out who did this. So after school that day, they checked the cameras. A hooded kid wearing a face mask. He moves quick, he's got tons of jars of salsa in his backpack and he's just dumping them in every single water fountain and scooting away. Then he slips into the theater hallway, the one with no cameras, and he vanishes. They don't see him again. Nobody gets identified. Nobody confesses. Everybody's talking about it, but nobody's claiming it. And that's when it starts. Kids begin showing up to school with jars of salsa in their backpacks, and every single salsa jar has 6, 7 written on the lid. Before you know it, it's a full-blown culture. Who's got the rare stuff that nobody's seen before? Yo, yours looks different. Yeah, my uncle sent it to me from Mexico City. People are trading, people are hoarding jars in their lockers. The school eventually tries to ban salsa. I can't believe I'm saying this, but salsa jars are banned. But that didn't stop anybody. People kept bringing their 6, 7 salsa jars to school. Apparently, it has now calmed down a little bit, but I guess the school is still scrambling to stop all of this madness. That is insane. This kid used to be popular. What's up, Carla? Hey, what up, Johnny? Hey, look, it's the loser, Steven. Screw you, Steven. He used to be untouchable. He would bully a bunch of people, his friends would laugh, the girls in the school loved him, and so did the teachers. But one Monday, he came back to school with a haircut. And it was bad. No, it wasn't just bad. It was horrible, like a freaking cartoon villain. Hey guys, how we doing today? What's up, Carla? What? You look like Coconut Head. What happened to you? Your haircut sucks. And like I said, it was actually bad. Like, it was uneven, there wasn't a fade, it was just cut horribly. And just like that, it was over. Every day, kids would laugh at him. Even when his hair grew back and he had a normal haircut, people still made fun of him. He eventually just stopped talking in the halls, in class, to his friends. He would eat lunch alone. Kids were making jokes as he walked by. And that's how the king of the school turned into the punchline of everyone's jokes. Hey, that's karma for you. It's summer camp, midnight. Most of the cabins are asleep when this kid wakes up to a sound. Hey, did you hear that? The sound is crying somewhere in the woods. It's not a normal cry either, like full-on sobbing, muttering. Is that an animal? Dude, I think it's a person. Well, these two campers sneak out with their flashlights and start searching through the trees. Hello? Anybody out here? Hello, we hear the crying. They find her, a camp counselor sitting on a rock, barefoot, crying. He said he loved me. But then he kissed Jenna on the dock like I don't exist? They're campers and she's a counselor. This is not their business. Do you want us to get like another counselor or something? I can call some... No, I'm fine. Don't tell anybody you saw me. What the heck? The next morning, she's at breakfast and she's acting normal, like she wasn't just scream-crying into a pine tree 8 hours before this. But that rock that she was sitting on, they called that rock Breakup Rock for years after that. The legend of this school wasn't a student, it was the gym teacher, Mr. Lev. One day, during morning drop-off, he's out by the curb, helping kids get into the school while a bus pulls in too sharp and hits him. Full body contact. All right, guys, head on in there. Bell's about to ring. Oh, no. He goes flying. Like, it looked pretty bad. Everyone in the bus is screaming. Oh my God, you killed him. Oh God. But what does Mr. Lev do? He stands up, walks onto the bus and goes, is everybody okay in here? Yeah. Are you? Oh, I'm fine. You guys should get inside. The bell's about to ring. And then just walks it off like nothing happened. From that day forward, he was untouchable. Like school-wide Chuck Norris energy. Now, a few years after graduation, there was this crazy rumor that Mr. Lev got fired for soaking raisins in vodka and drinking them throughout the day, which people are pretty sure that wasn't true, but still, he was fired. Well, years later, somebody saw his obituary. He had passed away. But people who knew him said that Mr. Lev was loved. He was like the Terminator, the only teacher to get hit by a bus and finish his shift. Rest in peace, Mr. Lev. Rest in peace. Attendance office. Yeah, I'm calling about the high school for sale. Excuse me? So this kid lists the entire high school on Craigslist. Yep, puts it up there just like a house. Multiple acres, Olympic-sized track, full gym, swimming pool, great natural light. And for the contact number, he puts down the attendance office. On purpose, because everyone hated the receptionist. So for the next 3 days, she's just picking up like, attendance office. Yeah, I saw the listing for the property. Is it still available? What listing? The high school for sale with a pool? Call after call, people asking for showings. One guy said, yeah, I'm thinking about turning the gym into my own personal dojo. And hey, maybe you could even stop by once it's ready. What do you say, huh? You, me, champagne? Huh? Oh my God. It got so bad the school had to change the number of the attendance office permanently because these calls kept coming in. And the kid, he never confessed. To that school, he remained anonymous. And there were some copycat Craigslist ads after that, so the calls never really stopped for a while. It eventually fizzled out, but every time that phone rang, the receptionist's heart would sink. That's actually hilarious. He punched the teacher. Why? To get out of a quiz. So there was this one history teacher, ex-military, dude was jacked. He biked 10 miles to school every morning, kept an ab roller in the corner of the room, ate beans and spinach for lunch. Dude was built like a protein bar. One day he gives the class a pop quiz. Groans everywhere. That's when Jeff, the biggest kid in class, he was a football lineman, literal boulder with a backpack, he raises his hand. If I can punch you in the stomach and make you flinch, can we all get 100s on the pop quiz? Room goes silent, the teacher's staring at him, and he nods. Deal. He stands up, folds his arms behind his back, everyone gets out of the way. Jeff steps forward, winds up, and absolutely drills the teacher in the stomach. The teacher doesn't flinch, doesn't move, he just breathes and says, quiz stays. Take your seat, everybody. And that was it. Jeff became the kid that punched the teacher. And the teacher became the guy you never mess with. I'm not gonna say it again. One more sound out of you, Jason, and you're out of here. So one day in class, 2 kids are in the back of the classroom and they're whispering to each other. I told my cat that she's so funny when she does that. Dude, I have so much milk left over from last night. Suddenly, the teacher slams her hand on the desk and says, Jason, that's enough. The whole class freezes, but here's the thing. Jason wasn't even talking. He's sitting there mid-pencil stroke like, huh? I'm not gonna say it again. One more sound out of you, Jason, and you're out of here. Now, a bunch of people saw who was actually whispering, but nobody said a word. Well, Jason takes the L in silence. The next day, there are some class presentations. Well, Jason walks up, he connects his slideshow, and slide 1 appears on the projector. The danger of classroom injustice. Oh boy, here we go. Then Jason starts reading from a flashcard. Let the record show, yesterday I was falsely accused of whispering. I was not whispering. I was taking notes. I was the victim. Slide 2, confirmed witnesses. He lists 3 classmates, first and last names, alphabetical order. Next slide, actual culprits. The final slide. And all I ask is for truth to matter again. Boom, presentation done. He gets a standing ovation. Even the teacher's smiling and laughing, and he gets a B+ on that assignment. The teacher then apologizes for accusing him of something he did not do. Respect. Yo, did they lock the vending machine? Yeah, after what happened to Steven. What happened to Steven? So this kid Steven, 7th grader, he's got a total sweet tooth. Well, one day during lunch, he brings like $15 in change, dumps it in the vending machine, and he goes to town. 6 honey buns, 2 Pop-Tarts, and a pack of powdered donuts. Back to back to back to frickin' back. Now a teacher walks by and says, hey, that's a lot of sugar, buddy. It's my money and it's my stomach. 2 periods later, Steven is in PE and he's running laps when suddenly he stops dead in his tracks. Hands on knees, face pale, and then he pukes everywhere. Like a full cinnamon glaze explosion all over the gym floor. Janitor shows up unfazed because, of course, janitors are freaking awesome. Well, after that, the principal has a full-on panic attack. The school blames the vending machines. The next morning, padlocks are on both machines, all the snacks have been taken out, and there's a sign there. Until further notice, snacks are suspended. Now kids are furious with Steven, like he's a freaking honey bun villain. Every time Steven walks down the hallway. Thanks a lot, Steven. Really could've used a Pop-Tart today, man. Screw you. Tried to apologize, but it was too late. Once the snacks had gone, there was no coming back. Poor kid. Miss, how are we supposed to know when it's due? You just are, okay? This one teacher was brutal. She wouldn't post due dates for anything. She wouldn't write instructions. She would just say it once out loud and expect you to remember everything. And if you didn't hear it or you missed the information, that sounds like a you problem, doesn't it? One day she assigns a huge project. She explains it once, she talks fast, there's no visual, no handout. And this one kid, he raises his hand. Wait, how are we supposed to, Josh, were you listening? Yeah, but then why are you asking? No one knows when it's due, what it's supposed to look like, it's total confusion. One person thinks he remembers the due date, one person remembers it differently, it's a mess. And from that moment on, Josh decides he's going to record everything this teacher says every single day, without her knowing. 2 weeks later, half the class gets zeros on this other project. There's no excuse for this, you guys. I told you exactly how I wanted it. Josh raises his hand. Actually, you didn't. Excuse me? He takes out his phone, fiddles with his recordings for a second, and then he presses play. It was her whole explanation for this project. It was loud, it didn't make any sense, and she was mumbling for half of it. So basically, it's gonna go on a big piece of paper or, like one of those things, and then you're gonna make sure that you get everything down from that the chapter, I think it was 9. Maybe it's 11, but put it all on. Hey, guys, quiet. All right, that's it. Let's move on. So are we all really getting zeros, or are you gonna give us the instructions again? The next day, she handed out a printed rubric for that project, and she gave everyone a second chance to do it. And from that day forward, she always had printed out instructions for every single assignment and project. Yeah, as she should. No snack, no participation points. What is my birthday? This one teacher at this one school made a new rule. If your birthday falls on a school day, you have to bring a snack for the entire class. No exceptions. It didn't matter if your family couldn't afford it. It didn't matter if you forgot. If you didn't bring snacks, you would get your participation points docked for the whole week. And the teacher would call you out in front of everybody. So this one kid, Tyler, it's his birthday and it's a Tuesday. He doesn't bring anything. And the teacher just lights him up. Oh, no snacks for your friends, huh, Tyler? How selfish are you? The whole class is just staring at him. And Tyler is just sitting there. I didn't even ask to be born. 2 days later, it's this girl Chloe's birthday. She felt bad for Tyler. And she came in that day and she followed the rules. Technically. She walks in with a sandwich bag full of Tic Tacs. 1 Tic Tac for each kid, individually handed out. For my beloved classmates, I brought you all a snack. Enjoy the feast. Class is dying. People are clapping. Teacher's trying to hold it together, but you can see the vein popping in her face. Okay, I see. You're making fun of me. You think this is a joke. It's okay. The whole class just starts mocking this teacher and the rule and praising Chloe for this hilarious kind of stunt she pulled. The teacher just snaps. Fine, you know what? Birthday snacks are canceled. Forgive me for trying to make everyone's birthday a fun time. I honestly can't believe you guys. Get over it. What a wild thing for a teacher to do. It's their birthday, yet they're getting in trouble if they don't bring snacks in. Get out of my face. You kids need to be more responsible. You first. In this one class, late homework gets you an immediate 0. No excuses, and this teacher was brutal about it too. If you can't turn it in on time, you fail. Life doesn't give you extensions, kids. And the thing is, she assigned homework all the time. Every week, new homework, the kids would turn it in, but then, listen to this, nothing. No feedback, no grades, nothing gets returned to them. Well, one day, this kid named Johnny, he kind of snaps. Hey miss, just wondering, if life doesn't give you extensions, where's all of our graded homework from the last month? Excuse me, I'm very busy, Johnny. I have a life too, Can't believe you. Well, you know what? Maybe you should finish your homework before you hand us out more, you hypocritical office now. That's fine, but I'm gonna tell Mr. Stevens that he should probably have a look inside your gradebook. Okay, bye. Funny enough, by the next morning, the student portal of that class had been completely updated. She had graded everything. And during class the next day, she changed the late work policy. No one has ever got 100% in my class. Oh yeah? Watch this. So there's this teacher that every single day brags that no one has ever got 100% in my class. My tests are just too hard. And everyone just kind of tunes her out. But this one kid, let's call him Chris. Chris studies like crazy. He wants to prove her wrong, takes every quiz, takes every chance for extra credit. Final exams come, and he's locked in. He's done, turns it in, he's feeling very confident. The next day, the teacher passes out the exams. 98%? Damn, you did good. Almost too good. Were you cheating? I'm just kidding. My tests are hard. No, I mean I should have got 100%. Okay, settle down, alright? I'm serious. Pull out the answer key. See? Look, right there. Wrong and wrong. Chris looks at the 2 questions she marked wrong. Then he looks at her key. One of them is a trick question. The other answer on her key is just flat out wrong. My answer is right, miss. Your key's wrong. No, it's not. That's absolutely impossible. Chris grabs a textbook off her desk, flips open to the exact page he needs, slaps it down. Right there, paragraph 3. She leans over and reads it. Chris just smiles. So do I get my 100 or do you need me to grade the rest of the class as well? She doesn't say a word. She just crosses off the 98% and quickly scribbles 100% on his test. After that day, she never bragged about her tests being hard ever again. Good morning, this is Channel 3 School News with your top story. At approximately 9:08 a.m. yesterday, a 6th grade student constructed a fully functional toll booth in the main hallway, using nothing but masking tape, a clipboard, and what seemed to be a strong sense of purpose. Eyewitnesses state the student was wearing sunglasses and would stand there with his hand out, calmly stating, "That's $1 to pass, exact change only." Over the next 12 minutes, multiple students complied. One teacher walked through without paying, and she was booed. It's just, what makes you so special? We're all paying the toll, so should you. So we booed her. By 9:20 a.m., this student had collected $28 in singles and exact change. He offered receipts, he stamped hands. He told students premium passes were coming soon. When asked why he was doing this, this was his reply. It's a good idea, right? I just came up with it. I thought there's no way I'm going to get away with this. But I did. As the morning went on, the hallway bottlenecked. The late bell rang. Chaos was beginning to ensue. By 9:26 a.m., administration intervened. The toll booth was dismantled. The tape was peeled and the clipboard was seized. When asked if he had any other things planned in the near future, he responded, "Oh, just you wait." And back to you. Did they ever find out who did it? Nope. And it drove him insane. So there's this one principal. Old school. Super strict. Hates nonsense, hates funny business, he's got zero chill. Well, one day he walks into his office, and there's a single crouton sitting on his desk. Dead center. No note, no explanation, just sitting there. He doesn't think too much of it, so he tosses it in the garbage. The next day, another one. Same spot, still no message. Day after that, again. He starts asking around. All right, who's messing with me? Huh? Who's the crouton person? Huh? No one knows. So he checks the cameras, but there's no camera inside his office, just the hallway outside of the door. In that hallway, there's tons of kids coming in and out of the office all day. Teachers, office aides, too many faces, there's no way to tell who left it in there. So he tries to stop it. He begins locking the door when he's not there. He still gets a crouton. He moves his desk, still gets a crouton. He leaves a sticky note. Whoever this is, please stop. The next day, a new crouton, sitting on a napkin that says, respectfully. This goes on for months and he never figures it out. Never gets an answer and never catches this crouton person. And then one day, it just stops. Nothing. The desk stays empty. No note, no crumb, no crouton. He retires the next year, but the day he left that job, he put a framed photo on the wall of the crouton sitting on a napkin, and below it, it said, unsolved. That picture is still hanging in that office to this day. Where did he get all this stuff? I don't know, but it's beautiful. So sophomore year of high school, this one kid puts a bin outside the cafeteria. Taped to the side, it says, unofficial lost and found. Nobody thinks much of it, and people start using it. A water bottle here, a hoodie there, stuff just starts showing up in the bin. And every day, it's empty again. Clean, wiped out. No one knows where the stuff from the previous day went. And no one asked. At first, people think he's just bringing it to the office. Even the teachers were like, oh, that's so nice of him, he's helping out the school staff. Here, I found this shoe. But he never actually confirms what he's doing with the stuff. He even moves the bin around. Some days he's outside the library with it. Other days he's by the gym. Sometimes he's spotted walking the hallway alone, picking stuff up like he's actively looking for lost items. And this goes on for 2 years. So, senior year, the last day of school. It's pretty relaxed. People were just wandering the schools. Easy day, it's the last day. Well, there's a paper sign taped to the gym doors. The sign said, the Hall of the Misplaced. People walk in, they're curious. What is this place? Oh my God. This kid turned the gym into a full-blown museum. Tables, spotlights, handwritten labels, all of the missing stuff displayed. He made sections. The wall of gloves, the charger graveyard. The fact that this dude's been pulling this off for 2 years is insane. At 3:45 that day, he packed up everything and left with the stuff. He didn't even give it back to the people that wanted it back. After he walked out, he was gone. And he didn't even show up to graduation. Honestly, that dude's a legend. Is that popcorn I smell? Room 114. Bring $1. Garlic cheddar just dropped. So this kid's school had a rule where you couldn't sell anything during school hours or on school grounds. And he wanted to start a business like many people do because it's the frickin' hustle, baby. Well, one year he got something for Christmas. It was a mini popcorn machine. So one day he brought it into school. It wasn't the big carnival one, it was one of those mini ones that you could put on a countertop. Well, on this day, he left it in the back of this empty classroom. The one that nobody used anymore. And he had an extension cord running from the popcorn machine to an outlet. Nobody noticed. And then he made signs to pass out. Free popcorn. Suggested donation $1. Room 114. At lunch, he'd leave the door open just enough, so people could smell the popcorn as they were walking towards the room. He had everything. He had cups, he had flavors, cheddar, garlic, ranch, even sweet chili. And what was genius was that he wasn't technically selling anything, so he couldn't really get in trouble. It's just popcorn. I offer it and they donate. Business boomed. He had his friends standing around the hallway and going through the lunchroom telling them that room 14 has free popcorn. He even had Tabasco sauce packets to level it up. And if you guys never put hot sauce in your popcorn, you're severely missing out. It is a snack, I'm telling you. They started calling room 14 the Pop Shack. Now, teachers did start to notice this, mostly because of the smell. Eventually, the principal tracked it down and headed to room 114. What is this? Free popcorn. Suggested donation $1. You want some? The vice principal paused. He looked around. There was even a tip jar. He was impressed. Honestly, smells pretty good. Yeah, I'll take a cup of this sweet chili, and then you guys can just carry on. Here's a $5. That was that. They let him keep doing what he was doing. The only rules were this: no smoke, no fire, and no mess. And they had to have a teacher nearby to check in every so often, which they all agreed to. That was very reasonable. And by the end of the year, this kid had earned over $600 in donations. That is legendary behavior.
You canceled my birthday party? For a B+?
Actions have consequences. So this one student got a B+ in math. Not too bad, right? Well, not according to his dad. The dad walks into the room holding the kid's report card. A B+? Are you kidding me? Dad, it's still above average. It's a really hard class. Well, it's not good enough. Give me your phone, now. Wait, what? No phone, and I'm canceling your birthday dinner. Yo, are you serious? Dead serious. The next morning, the dad emails the teacher, saying stuff like, "Why didn't you push my child harder? He's clearly capable of more. You're supposed to challenge him, not let him slack off." The teacher writes back, "Your son has the highest grade in class. He's the only one that got above a B. I'm actually very proud of him." His dad is crazy. The kid finds out about this email. He walks up to his dad and says, "So, can I have my phone back now and maybe my birthday?" The dad just stares at him and walks away. Happy birthday to me, I guess. This school said it was doing something new for safety, just adding tiny audio monitors right outside the bathroom. It's not a camera, it would just record sound. The principal said it was to prevent fighting, loitering, and other nefarious activities. Weird, but technically legal, so most people just ignored it. But a few weeks in, something strange happened. The kids kept joking how they could overhear like a feedback noise in the vents, like a weird clicking or popping noise when you hold your phone out. Well, one janitor overheard this and he did not like it. So one night after hours, he checked the ceiling above the boys' bathroom, and that's when he found it. A live microphone inside the bathroom. He didn't say anything right away. Instead, he pulled it down, took pictures of it, and called the parent that he trusted. The parent didn't call the principal. She called a lawyer. And then the news. By the end of the week, it was everywhere. Turns out the principal had installed 6 audio devices in bathrooms across the school. No signs, no disclosure, no permission. By Thursday morning, a school district representative entered the school, walked into the principal's office, and 15 minutes later, the principal left the school holding a box. He was fired. And the janitor, he got like 30 gift cards from thankful students and parents. That janitor definitely did the right thing. Is that Miss Carter's voice? Oh my god, her mic is still on. One time, this teacher left the room to take a quick phone call, but she forgot that her microphone was on, and the entire class heard everything. So this teacher had one of those little mics that would clip to your shirt and connect to some speakers in the classroom because her voice was naturally very quiet. She gets a phone call, so she steps out into the hallway. She shuts the door behind her, and then suddenly, "No, because I'm not doing this again, Brian." It blasts through the classroom like an announcement. Everyone just goes dead silent. "You said you were going to handle the wedding invites, and now I'm the bad guy?" She was pacing the hallway, full-on arguing with this Brian guy, but the room could hear every single word through the speakers. "I don't care if your mom doesn't like it, she's not the one getting married, Brian." Someone in the back whispered, "Brian is so done for, man." The teacher then walks back in, and the class is just sitting there silently staring at the speakers. Did you guys hear all that? Yeah. Oh, okay. She turned bright red, turned off her mic, and went back to teaching like nothing happened. And here's the part that I'm sure some of you are wondering. The engagement was called off a couple months later. I've been teaching 7th grade for 12 years, and I've seen a lot. I've broken up fights, I've handled lockdowns, but nothing prepared me for the yogurt incident. It was a Thursday, it was quiet, and the students were working on some packet. And then out of nowhere, splat. Go-gurt all over the ceiling like some dairy-based grenade. And the worst part is, nobody claimed it. No one looked up, nobody laughed, they sat there. Like they planned it. It was driving me crazy. I filed an incident report. I even brought the janitor in to look at it so I could use him as a witness. He said, and I quote, "That's not the first yogurt I scraped off the ceiling." To this day, nobody knows who did it. But every time I see yogurt or smell yogurt, God forbid I taste yogurt, my stomach drops.
সেকেন্ড ইয়ারে পড়ি।
সেকেন্ড ইয়ারে আমি ক্লাস 9 এর পোলাবেনও প্রেম করে।
মামা মায়া তো অস্থির। এক্সকিউজ মি আপু, এক্সকিউজ মি, আপনার নামটা যদি বলতেন একটু।
শুনেন বেঞ্চ সাহেব, আমার বন্ধু জিসান, ঠিক আছে? আপনার বান্ধবীরে শুনুন। মারি নাই তো, শাসন করছি। ভালো লাগে না, একটু মারতেই পারি। কিন্তু খুব খারাপ হয়ে গেছে। তুই রাবিলের সুন্দর একটা রিক্সা ডাক।
ভাবি চিঠিটা আমার বন্ধু জিসান দিচ্ছে, প্লিজ ভাবি আপনি একটু নেন, প্লিজ ভাবি। দেখেন ভাবি
ফোন তো ধরে না। আবার কল দে। এই এই দুলা ভাই সামনে থাকলে যে সালাম দিতে হয়, আপনি শিখাই নাই তোরা?
যে কোচিং এর সামনে যে গুন্ডাটা দাঁড়িয়ে থাকে, আমার তো মনে হয় পড়াশোনা সব বন্ধ করে দিবে।
আমি তোর প্রেমের গল্প সাকসেসফুল, আমার কথা বিশ্বাস কর।
আমি শুধু একটু প্রেম ভালোবাসাতে, আমি শুধু ওরেই চাই বাবা, আমি শুধু ওরে পাইলে হবে।
ওকে, আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি। আচ্ছা, আপনার কাছে একটা প্রশ্ন।
কি হয়েছে বলতো? আর বলিস না, তোরে যে বুকিং দিছে সে তো এখন আমার পিছনে লাগছে।
জিসান, আমার দরজা লাগিয়ে দিচ্ছে। আমার দরজা লাগিয়ে দিচ্ছে। কই যায়?
কই যা?
আমরা তো বিয়েই দিয়ে দিবে বাসা থেকে।
মাম্মা লাভ স্টোরি তো শুরু করে দিলা। ভালো ভালো ভালো, মালটারে কি পড়ানো যায়?
তুই একটা কাম কর, আজকে থেকে আমি তোমার, তুমি আমার, ব্যাস ডিসিশন ফাইনাল, বুকিং দিয়ে রাখলাম, ঠিক আছে? কি খবর তোমাদের, কেমন আছো তোমরা সবাই? ভালো তো না? তুমি জানো তোমার কালকে তো কতবার কল দিচ্ছি।
হ্যালো, আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম।
কি রে হৃদয়, তুহিন মানা করতেছি কিছু মানে কিছু। ভাবি আপনি জানেন আমি একবার অসুস্থ হয়ে গেছিলাম, ও আমাকে রক্ত দেয়নি, আর আজকে আপনাকে রক্ত দিয়ে চিঠি লিখছে।
কিরে মাম্মা, কই রে তুই? কতক্ষণ ধরে দাঁড়ায় থাকবো? কনসার্ট তো শুরু হয়ে যাবো।
তাইলে তো বন্ধু রীত লেগে গেল। আরে বেটা এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা যা।
পাল্লা তো ভালো।
দেখা যাক কি করে শালা।
বোবা, হ্যাঁ কথা বলতে পারো না?
বিয়ান সাহেব, আসসালামু আলাইকুম বিয়ান সাহেব।
এক্সকিউজ মি,
তাই তুই কেন ফোন যায় না? না, তোমার নাম্বারটা তাড়াতাড়ি করে বলো।
ঘন্টার পর তো গার্লফ্রেন্ডের লেগে ওয়েট করতে পারো, আর বন্ধুর লেগে 2 মিনিট ওয়েট করতে পারবা না?
ও এখন আমার দোস্ত।
তাইলে তো বন্ধু রীত লেগে গেল। আরে বেটা এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা।
বাদ দে, কালকে 4টা দেখা হবে।
ঠিক আছে মামা।
ঠিক আছে মামা।
ঠিক মতো যা।
শালা পারলাম না রে।
আরে তোর তো হাওয়াটা একটু হয়ে গেল।
তুলি, তুই তো সুন্দর নাম। আচ্ছা শুন, আমি জিসান, আই লাভ ইউ।
আপনাদের তো চিনলাম না। আমার বড় বোনের যে দেবরগুলো আছেন তো সবাইকেই চিনি, বাট আপনাদেরকে তো চিনি না।
তুমি পড়ো, ঘুমাও তাহলে। গুড নাইট আর বাই।
সহজে কোনো কিছু পাওয়ার মজা নাই, কিন্তু আমগো দোষ জিসান কি কম। ও ভাবি লাগে বেটা, লজ্জা লাগে না? কি ওর কথা বাদ দে, পারো তুই যা। জামুই তো।
তুই চুপ থাক।
আমি তো আপনাকে চিনি না।
চিনো না যে আজকে চিনলা, আরো চিনবা, আস্তে আস্তে চিনবা। আর শুনো,